mindset of a winner is not built in comfort. It is carved in pain, in the nights where no one claps for you, in the mornings where you rise before the world even opens its eyes. Let me tell you something. You are not supposed to live life as a bystander, drifting like a leaf with the wind. Life will test you, break you, and humiliate you until you stand up with fire in your chest and declare, I will not be ordinary. Winners don't beg for chances, they create them. They don't ask the world for permission, they demand respect through relentless action. You cannot become great if you cling to excuses, if you waste your days scrolling, if you surrender your mind to weakness. A winner's mindset is about obsession, about hunger, about an unshakable belief that nothing and no one will outwork you. It is about walking into every room knowing you are prepared to bleed for what you want. Every time you feel tired, every time you feel broken, understand, this is the price. The world bows to those who refuse to quit. Pain is the foundation of strength. And the sooner you embrace that truth, the faster you will stop living in the shadows of your own potential. People spend their lives running from pain, avoiding discomfort, hiding from the things that make them sweat, bleed, cry, or doubt themselves. But what they don't understand is that the very moments they run from are the same moments that shape greatness. Pain is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher, your greatest weapon, your greatest ally in the fight against mediocrity. Every scar on your body, every heartbreak, every sleepless night filled with doubt and struggle is proof that you are still standing when others would have fallen. That resilience is born in fire, and pain is the flame that forges you into something unbreakable. When you lift heavy weights, your muscles tear and repair themselves stronger than before. When you push your mind beyond exhaustion, it adapts and becomes sharper, more disciplined, more dangerous. The same law applies to life. Without pain, there is no adaptation. Without pain, there is no growth. Without pain, you are weak, soft, and fragile, waiting for the first storm to break you. People who seek comfort all their lives never understand why they stay the same, why they remain trapped in cycles of failure and disappointment. The answer is simple. They have never embraced the power of pain. Pain humbles you. It strips away the illusions, the fake confidence, the lies you tell yourself about who you are. Pain will expose you. When life slaps you in the face, when betrayal cuts you open, when failure smashes your dreams to pieces, you will find out what you are truly made of. And that revelation hurts, but it is necessary. Because only in those moments do you get to decide whether you are going to stay broken or rebuild yourself stronger. That decision is where strength is born. You cannot cheat it, you cannot buy it, and you cannot fake it. Strength is earned through suffering, and those who run from suffering will never hold power. Think about every warrior, every champion, every legend you admire. None of them reached greatness by living easy. They went through hell, they faced rejection, losses, injuries, humiliation, and failure after failure. What made them different is that they saw pain not as punishment, but as preparation. Every drop of sweat, every bruise, every heartbreak was a down payment for future victory. The world respects them today because they refused to quit when it hurt the most. That is what separates winners from everyone else. Pain also teaches gratitude. Without hunger, food means nothing. Without exhaustion, rest has no value. Without heartbreak, love is just a word. Pain sharpens your perspective. It forces you to appreciate what you have because you've known the feeling of having nothing. The man who has suffered understands abundance better than the one who has always lived in comfort. This gratitude gives you power because instead of taking life for granted, you attack it with urgency and intensity. You understand that every moment is precious, every opportunity is rare, and every breath is a blessing. The truth is, you cannot escape pain. Whether you choose discipline or regret, suffering is guaranteed. Discipline hurts in the short term, but regret burns for a lifetime. Waking up early, grinding when you're tired, sacrificing comfort. It's painful, but so is living a life of mediocrity. Waking up years later, realizing you wasted your time, that you never lived up to your potential, that you betrayed yourself. So you must decide, you want the pain that makes you stronger or the pain that destroys you. Winners choose the pain of discipline, the pain of sacrifice, the pain of struggle, because they know it will buy them freedom, respect, and power. Every time you embrace pain instead of running from it, you level up. When your body screams to stop and you push one more rep, that's where strength is built. When life tells you to quit and you take one more step, that's where character is built. When you're on your knees and the world expects you to stay down and you rise again, that's where greatness is born. Pain is the ultimate filter. It separates the weak from the strong, the pretenders from the real, the ordinary from the extraordinary. Those who can suffer the longest, those who can endure the most, those who can carry pain and keep moving forward, those are the people who win. You don't need to fear pain, you need to rewire your brain to crave it. to understand that every painful moment is a gift in disguise. Pain is telling you, this is where the weak quit, and this is where the strong rise. Pain is reminding you that your limits are not real. They are illusions your mind created to keep you comfortable. Every time you break through those illusions, every time you prove yourself wrong, you step closer to the strongest version of yourself. So the next time you feel pain, don't run, don't complain, or look for an easy way out. Smile, because you are being given a chance to grow. You are being handed a weapon that the weak will never understand. Pain is not the enemy of success. Pain is the currency of success. Pay the price, and the world will bow. Avoid it, and you will forever remain a spectator in the game of life. Remember this: strength is not built in comfort. It is built in the fire of pain. And those who master that fire become unstoppable. Excuses are poison to success. And the reason most people never reach their true potential is because they drink that poison daily without even realizing it. An excuse is nothing more than a carefully packaged lie you tell yourself to justify weakness. It's a shield you hide behind when the truth becomes too heavy to carry. Excuses sound intelligent. They sound reasonable. They even sound logical, but underneath they are hollow and destructive. Every time you say, I don't have time, what you really mean is, I don't value it enough. Every time you say, I can't because I don't have the resources, what you really mean is, I'm not willing to fight for it. Excuses don't protect you, they imprison you. They lock you in a cycle of mediocrity, where you live the same year over and over, convincing yourself you're trying, when deep down, you know you're not. The truth about success is that it demands ownership. If you want something, you have to take full responsibility for every step, every failure, and every decision. The moment you make an excuse, you give away that responsibility. You surrender your power. You hand over control of your life to circumstances, to luck, to other people, and then wonder why you feel stuck. Successful people don't allow excuses to poison their minds. They know that no matter how valid an excuse sounds, it doesn't change the outcome. Excuses will not build your dreams. Excuses will not feed your family. Excuses will not put your name in the history books. Action does. The most dangerous thing about excuses is that they feel comfortable. They soothe your guilt. They let you sleep at night believing you had no choice. But the reality is, every excuse you make takes you further away from the life you want. Every time you choose to sit instead of move, to scroll instead of grind, to complain instead of create, you are poisoning your future. Success is ruthless in this way. It does not care about your excuses. It only rewards results. You can cry about how unfair life is, how tired you are, how unlucky you've been, but the world does not hand out trophies for suffering. It rewards the ones who showed up, who refused to let excuses define them, who kept moving when everything in them screamed to stop. Excuses also spread like a virus. One excuse becomes two become five, and soon you've built an entire identity around them. You start to convince yourself that you're not capable, not smart enough, not lucky enough, not strong enough. You begin to believe your own lies, and that is the most lethal poison of all. Once you adopt the excuse mentality, you stop even trying to change. You let your dreams rot while you stand on the sidelines watching others live the life you wanted. The poison of excuses doesn't just kill your future, it kills your spirit. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who broke records, who changed history, who built empires. Do you think they got there because their path was easier than yours? No, they faced mountains of obstacles, but they refused to drink the poison of excuses. They refused to let circumstances define them. They found a way when there was no way. They turned every I can't into I must. That's why the world remembers their names, while millions who lived with excuses are forgotten. The irony of excuses is that while they feel like a shield protecting you from failure, they are the very thing ensuring your failure. They stop you from taking the risks necessary to grow. They keep you from starting because you tell yourself the timing isn't right. They stop you from continuing because you tell yourself you're not ready. And they stop you from finishing because you convince yourself it's too late. But success doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence. It requires you to keep moving, even when you don't feel ready, even when conditions aren't ideal, even when you're scared. Excuses will always tell you to wait, but success only comes to those who act now. And you need to reprogram your mind to see excuses for what they are: lies. The next time you hear yourself saying, I don't have time, challenge it. You had time to watch TV, to scroll through social media, to talk about nothing with friends. Time is not lacking, discipline is. The next time you say, I don't have money, challenge it. Someone with less money than you started with nothing and built something extraordinary. The next time you say, I'm too tired, challenge it. You are not too tired, you're too comfortable. Excuses collapse the moment you face them with truth. The reality is, life does not reward the person with the best reasons for not succeeding. It rewards the person who simply refuses to quit. Success is not about conditions being perfect. It's about you being relentless despite the conditions. Every time you kill an excuse, you take back a piece of your power. Every time you stop blaming and start acting, you strengthen your mindset. Every time you face a challenge without an excuse, you build unshakable confidence in yourself. Excuses are poison because they kill dreams silently. You don't feel the effects immediately. You don't wake up tomorrow in ruins, but over time they corrode everything you could have been. Years later, you look back and realize you lost battles you never even fought because you excused yourself out of them. That is the tragedy of excuses. Not that they stop you today, but that they steal every tomorrow. If you want to win, you must detox your mind from excuses. Treat them like poison, because that's exactly what they are. Hold yourself accountable. Replace I can't with I must. Replace I don't have with I will find. Replace I'm tired with I'll keep going. The difference between the life you want and the life you settle for lies in this choice. Drink the poison of excuses and watch your dreams die. Spit it out, take ownership, and build a life so strong, so undeniable, that no one, not even you, can argue against your success. Hunger outshines talent every time, and this is a truth that too many people ignore. The world is full of talented people, gifted athletes who never made it past high school, brilliant minds who wasted their potential in comfort, artists who never created their masterpiece because they lacked the discipline to keep going. Talent is everywhere, but hunger is rare. Talent is a gift, but hunger is a choice. And when hunger and talent collide, hunger always wins, because hunger cannot be denied. Talent without hunger is like a sword left to rust in its sheath. It looks sharp, but it never cuts. Hunger without talent is like a dull blade swung with relentless force. It may not look impressive, but it will still tear through anything in its way. The man who is hungry will outwork, outlast, and outfight the man who simply relies on natural ability. Talent can make you good, but hunger makes you unstoppable. The hungry man will stay up when everyone else sleeps. He will train when everyone else quits. He will find a way when talent says it is impossible. Hunger is that fire inside your chest that screams louder than pain, louder than doubt, louder than fear. It is the reason some people with fewer resources, less opportunity, and fewer advantages still rise to greatness, while the talented sit back and wonder how it happened. The answer is simple. Hunger does not wait. Hunger does not accept excuses. Hunger refuses to be ignored. Think about history. The most dominant athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, and warriors were not always the most gifted. Many of them were counted out, overlooked, and doubted. But they had something greater than talent. They had hunger. Hunger made them relentless. Hunger made them dangerous. Hunger turned every setback into fuel, every failure into motivation, every insult into energy to keep grinding. The man with talent might stop when it hurts, but the man with hunger will push until he breaks through. Hunger has no ceiling. Hunger has no limits. It will take you further than talent ever could. The problem with talent is that it breeds comfort. If something comes easy to you, you take it for granted, you lean on it, you assume it will carry you through life. But talent without hunger is wasted. Comfort dulls the edge of talent. It makes you lazy. It makes you entitled. It makes you believe you deserve success without putting in the work. Hunger does the opposite. Hunger sharpens your edge. Hunger makes you grind harder, stay focused longer, and fight with a level of intensity that talent alone cannot create. Hunger turns the ordinary into extraordinary, while talent without hunger fades into mediocrity. Hunger is also contagious. When you walk into a room with true hunger, people feel it. They sense the energy, the determination, the unshakable drive. It intimidates the comfortable and inspires the ambitious. That is why the hungry man is always dangerous. He will not settle, he will not stop, and he will not be satisfied until he conquers what he set out to achieve. Talent impresses people, but hunger commands respect. Every champion you see on top today is fueled by hunger. Talent may have introduced them to the game, but hunger kept them in it. Talent may have given them an early advantage, but hunger made them legends. Look closely, and you'll see that hunger is the deciding factor. Because no matter how talented you are, the world will test you. Life will throw pain, obstacles, and failure in your face. And when that happens, talent might hesitate, but hunger will rise. Hunger will say, I don't care how many times I fall, I will get back up. Hunger will say, I don't care if the odds are against me, I will find a way. Hunger turns impossible into inevitable. The beauty of hunger is that it is not something you are born with, it is something you choose. You can wake up every day and feed your hunger by setting goals that scare you, by refusing to settle, by pushing yourself beyond what feels comfortable. You can grow hungrier with every setback, with every failure, with every obstacle that stands in your way. Hunger is not about having less, it's about wanting more for yourself, more for your family, more for your life. It is about refusing to let the world dictate your destiny. Hunger is personal. Hunger is raw. Hunger is the driving force behind every story of triumph. If you want to see how hunger beats talent, just look at the battlefield of life. The talented get tired. The talented lose motivation when things don't go their way. But the hungry never stop. They adapt. They evolve. They refuse to die. Hunger is about heart, about grit, about the willingness to crawl through fire if that's what it takes. Talent is a spark, but hunger is a wildfire. It spreads, it consumes, and it destroys anything in its path until the goal is achieved. So if you feel you're not the most talented, the most gifted, the smartest, or the fastest, good. That's your advantage, because hunger will give you what talent cannot: the ability to endure, the ability to outlast, the ability to prove everyone wrong. Success doesn't belong to the talented, it belongs to the hungry. And if you are hungry enough, the world has no choice but to feed you. Hunger outshines talent every time, because talent is limited, but hunger is infinite. Talent is a blessing, but hunger is a weapon. And when life gets hard, when the pressure rises, when the lights are brightest, it is not talent that carries you through, it is hunger. If you have hunger, you already have the edge. And with that edge, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that can stop you. Discipline builds unshakable confidence, and that confidence is the very backbone of a winner's mindset. Most people confuse confidence with arrogance, with loud words, with showing off, but true confidence has nothing to do with pretending and everything to do with proof. Confidence is quiet. It's the silent knowledge that you've paid the price, that you've put in the work, that you've done what others were too weak to do. And the only way you gain that kind of unshakable certainty is through discipline. Discipline is showing up when you don't feel like it. Discipline is following through when motivation dies. Discipline is sacrificing comfort today so you can build strength tomorrow. When you live with discipline, you don't need to fake confidence. You are confidence. Think about the moments where you've been most insecure, the times where you doubted yourself, where you questioned your worth, where fear held you back. Almost always, those feelings come from knowing deep down that you weren't prepared. You didn't study when you should have. You didn't train as hard as you could have. You didn't practice enough. That gap between what you could have done and what you actually did is the breeding ground for insecurity. Now flip it. When you've worked relentlessly, when you've disciplined yourself through sleepless nights, painful mornings, endless repetitions, then when the moment comes, you walk in with a calmness that cannot be shaken. You don't hope you'll win. You know you will. That is the confidence born from discipline. Discipline frees you from doubt. Doubt lives in those who cut corners, in those who cheat themselves, in those who procrastinate. When you skip the hard work, your mind knows it and it haunts you. You can try to silence it with excuses, with arrogance, with lies, but deep down, you know the truth. Confidence without discipline is an illusion. It will crumble the moment it's tested. But when your discipline is unshakable, your confidence is too. Nobody can talk you out of it. Nobody can intimidate you. Nobody can shake your foundation because you know you have already put in the work. The strongest men and women in the world are not those born with the most natural talent. They are those forged by discipline. They are the ones who trained when it was raining, when it was cold, when they were tired, when no one was watching. They are the ones who resisted temptation, who stayed focused while others chased distractions. That consistency repeated over weeks, months, years builds a level of inner strength that nothing can destroy. And with that strength comes a confidence so powerful it radiates in everything you do. Discipline also creates momentum. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you can rely on yourself. You start trusting your own word. Most people break promises to themselves daily. They say they'll start tomorrow, they'll quit the bad habit, they'll chase the goal, and then they don't follow through. That repeated failure erodes confidence until they don't even believe themselves anymore. But if you live with discipline, you train yourself to be different. When you say you'll do something, you do it. When you commit, you follow through. That repeated integrity builds an inner power so strong that nothing external can destroy it. This is how discipline transforms into unshakable confidence. It teaches you that you can depend on yourself. And let me be clear, discipline is not easy. Discipline is pain. It means waking up when your body begs for more sleep. It means saying no when the world tempts you with pleasure. It means doing the boring, repetitive, exhausting work that nobody else wants to do. But that pain is not wasted. It is an investment. Every sacrifice, every repetition, every disciplined choice is like a brick laid in the foundation of your confidence. Eventually, you have built something so solid that storms can come, criticism can come, failure can come, and you will not crumble. Because your confidence is not based on luck or opinion or chance. It is built on the unshakable foundation of discipline. Confidence born from discipline also separates you from the crowd. The majority of people rely on hype, on appearances, on temporary motivation. They talk loud, but when pressure comes, they fold. You, on the other hand, don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your proof is in the work you've already done. Your confidence doesn't scream, it speaks for itself in the way you move, the way you act, the way you conquer challenges. People can sense it, they can feel the difference. And that is why disciplined confidence commands respect without saying a word. Ultimately, discipline builds more than confidence. It builds freedom. When you are disciplined, you don't live in fear of the future. You don't live paralyzed by what ifs. You don't worry about whether you can handle what's coming because you know you can. You've built the strength, the resilience, and the certainty through discipline. And that freedom is the highest form of confidence, knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you are ready. Discipline builds unshakable confidence because it transforms you from someone who wishes, hopes, and dreams into someone who knows, acts, and achieves. Without discipline, confidence is fragile and temporary. With discipline, confidence becomes eternal and unbreakable. That is the difference between those who talk about success and those who live it. You want unshakable confidence? Stop waiting for it. Stop faking it. Build it brick by brick with the only tool that works, discipline. And once you have it, no one, nothing, and no circumstance will ever take it from you. Winners never wait, they dominate. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who stay average is simple: action. Waiting is the language of the weak, the excuse of the timid, the mindset of those who live their lives as spectators. The world is full of people waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for someone to give them permission, waiting for luck to suddenly appear. But the truth is, the perfect time never comes. Opportunities are created, and luck only visits those who have already put in the work. Winners understand this. That's why they never wait. They move, they strike, they take what they want without hesitation. They don't stand in line, they break through the front and claim their place at the top. Every second you wait is a second you give to your competition. While you're hesitating, someone hungrier than you is already grinding, already creating, already stacking victories. Winners know the clock is ticking and they refuse to waste a single moment. Waiting is passive, but domination is active. Domination means stepping into the arena when others are still thinking about it. Domination means taking the shot when others are scared to miss. Domination means being relentless, imposing your will on the game, on the field, on the battlefield of life. Winners do not sit back and hope. They make sure they control the outcome by refusing to leave it in the hands of chance. And most people lose before they even start because they're paralyzed by fear. They're afraid to fail, afraid to be judged, afraid of what might go wrong. Winners feel the same fear, but the difference is they don't wait for fear to go away. They move through it. They know hesitation kills faster than failure. You can recover from failure. You can learn from it. You can rise stronger, but you can never recover from the years wasted waiting for the right time. The winners refuse to die in hesitation. They dominate by acting in the moment. Domination is not about arrogance. It's about certainty. It's the mindset that says, if I don't take this opportunity, someone else will, and I refuse to let that happen. Winners don't ask if they're ready. They make themselves ready through action. They don't wait for the stars to align. They align their actions with their goals and create the reality they want. Domination is about owning the space you're in, about dictating the pace, about forcing the world to respond to you instead of you responding to the world. That is how winners move. Look at the people who've changed history, the entrepreneurs who built empires, the fighters who became champions, the leaders who shaped nations. None of them waited for approval. None of them sat quietly hoping for a chance. They took it, they seized it, they dominated when everyone else doubted them. They weren't necessarily the most talented or the most prepared, but they were the boldest. And boldness always beats hesitation. The man who acts will always outrun the man who waits. Winners dominate because they understand momentum. Once you act, once you put energy into motion, opportunities start multiplying. You create momentum that attracts success. But when you wait, you stagnate. Waiting kills momentum before it's even born. Domination is about seizing the day, stacking small wins, turning small wins into big victories, and using that energy to climb higher. That's why winners seem unstoppable. They don't pause long enough to lose their fire. They keep pushing, keep building, keep dominating until the world has no choice but to recognize them. Waiting is also rooted in weakness, in the illusion that someone will save you, that someone will hand you your dream. Winners know nobody is coming. Nobody is going to give you the life you want. You either take it or you settle. Waiting is surrender. Domination is conquest. And life does not reward those who surrender. It rewards the conquerors. Winners dominate not because they never fail, but because they never stop moving. They take risks, they stumble, they bleed, but they keep going. They refuse to let fear, doubt, or failure hold them hostage. That refusal to pause, that refusal to wait, is what gives them the edge over everyone else. Every second counts, and they spend every second building, fighting, and growing while others waste time with hesitation. Domination also builds respect. People respect action, not words. Talkers wait, doers dominate. Winners don't announce what they're going to do, they show you by doing it. They dominate so thoroughly that even their rivals can't help but acknowledge them. And that respect, that recognition, doesn't come from waiting for permission. It comes from grabbing the world by the throat and refusing to let go until your vision is reality. If you want to win in life, you have to kill the waiting mentality. Stop waiting for the perfect body before you step in the gym. Stop waiting for the perfect business idea before you start building. Stop waiting for confidence before you take the leap. Confidence comes after action, never before it. Success comes after domination, never after hesitation. Winners understand that time is the most valuable currency, and they refuse to waste it waiting. Winners never wait, they dominate. They know tomorrow is not promised, that the world owes them nothing, and that success belongs to the bold. You don't need more time, you need more courage. You don't need more chances, you need more action. You don't need permission, you need to dominate. Because in the end, the world remembers the ones who moved, not the ones who waited. The future will not belong to those who hesitated, it will belong to those who acted. And the only question you need to answer is this: are you going to wait or are you going to dominate? Let me leave you with this. Life does not slow down for you. It does not bend to your excuses. It does not wait for you to be ready. Every moment that slips away is a moment you will never get back. The winners of this world are not chosen. They are forged through discipline, hunger, pain, and the refusal to quit. They don't wait for opportunity, they create it. They don't hope for success, they dominate until success has no choice but to surrender to them. You are capable of far more than you realize, but potential means nothing without action. Pain will test you, excuses will tempt you, talent may fail you, but if you stay disciplined, if you stay hungry, if you refuse to wait, nothing can stop you. This is the mindset of a winner. To rise when others fall, to fight when others give up, to claim what others only dream about. You have one life, one chance, and one choice. Wait and fade into mediocrity, or dominate and carve your name into history. The clock is ticking, the world is watching. Now it's your move. Are you ready to win, or will you waste your life waiting?